Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome back to Divine Eye Racing Round 3. Tonight we have the Shanghai International Circuit for the Chinese Grand Prix. So this track has earned its place in Formula One with its thrilling layout and reputation for producing high-speed battles and strategic masterclasses. We do know the undercut is extremely powerful in this game, but of course, with it being such a long track, you really don't want to be on either the soft or medium tires. I mean, saying that, there's incredibly high amounts of wear around this track. So, let's see, I believe that is Lopetegui who is returning for, or as a reserve tonight, on behalf of the McLaren team. So, standing in tonight and hopefully be able to pick up some points for McLaren, who are actually down towards the bottom of the standings in P9 at the moment. So let's see what people can bring for tonight's race. I'm anticipating a very spicy race indeed after having an epic one really at Belgium last time around. Lopetegui has decided to completely stop on track. But we do have a couple of drivers, the steps, of course, looking to go out on the medium tires, get his eye in a little bit. But who is at the front of the queue? That is what I want to know. I believe it is a Haas. It's always Cutthroat. It's always Cutthroat who is the first one out on track. And we know this track here, you need to stay clear of this curb on the left-hand side, otherwise you will go flying. You will absolutely go flying like a rocket ship. Good to be back. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I believe that's Olorishi in the chat. DeFi Loud. But best of luck to you, my brother. Hope you are able to secure the starting position that you're looking for and have a good race as well. In terms of the driver standings early on, what we're looking like at the moment is a tie. Of course, finishing P3, I believe it was last season, so back on form for where he finished off last season. Yuri has not been as consistent as last season, but here we have him here on his first flying lap, I believe, unless he's just coming out the pit. Yes, there we go, this is his first flying lap, so on board with Yuri so far. Goes purple in the first sector. This is an absolutely a track that tests the drivers. I mean, and you do require a lot of power and precision as well through the corners. So of course you've got the famous back straight, the longest on the F1 calendar, I believe, where drivers absolutely push their engines to full throttle, setting up for daring overtakes and tight hairpin. It's a track that demands a lot of versatility. So here the teams have to balance raw speed and the aerodynamic kind of finesse, I want to say, to handle Shanghai's sweeping turns and tight corners. So we see Yuri holding a narrow line into that corner, the back straight here, the famous back straight. Overtake all the way down to the line. And want to hook this up nicely for this little hairpin right here, as we see the steps going P1 at the moment with a 32.0. I'm sure that'll be beaten quickly, and it is by Duke and Lopetegui. Welcome back, my friends. 31.0, looking absolutely rapid so far. Yuri going to P2 with a 32.0, so about a second off of Lopetegui's shine at the moment, and I'm sure Shermanator won't be too happy with his first attempt, although it does allow him to get something on the board early days. But yes, today strategy is going to be absolutely crucial from the standpoint where they're there we go. I see Paddy kind of making his way through the first couple of corners. But strategy is going to be absolutely crucial today. I don't really know. I mean, I imagine it will be a medium hard or hard medium strategy. Probably hard medium, to be in all honesty. But tire degradation on this track is absolutely incredibly high. The softs, I believe, they last about 4 laps before they are screaming. So, of course, you've got the weather to play a factor potentially. Unpredictable weather here in Shanghai, so the drivers have to be prepared for any potential outcome, really. And of course, it is early days on in the championship, but plenty to fight for, and you want to kind of build your momentum around this part of the season at the moment. You know, if you are to consider a title challenge, one guy who does need a little bit of luck, as he hasn't had the best of luck so far this early days in the season, is Paddy, finishing P2 of course last season, and hopefully he's able to start picking up some solid results and build off his solid performance from last season. But goes a bit deep there on the hairpin, coming up to the penultimate corner now. Doesn't throw it in a huge amount, so I'm not taking a lot of risk, but still able to go up until P4, which I'm sure Paddy will be pretty satisfied about. And as I mentioned, looking to build on that momentum for the season, pick up a couple of good results. And we did see Tonga go P2. So your top 4, or your top 2 separated by 5/10 at the moment, and we've got 3 drivers separated by 200s. So Lopetikichi absolutely setting the pace at the moment, and looks to be in a class of his own. But we have DRL Naismith, next driver to come across the line, keeps it within track limits just about, and he goes P10, so not too bad. There's definitely some improvement to be made, and we do know that Naismith is driving with an injury, of course, tonight, so hopefully speedy recovery to you, mate, and see you back setting the timesheets alight and getting some good results on the board as well. Next driver across the line, I believe, is Cutler. No, he is setting up to for his flying lap, and Cutler, I believe, is just driving around and around on the same set of soft tires. Yet to set a competitive time, is about 2 seconds off the pace at the moment, or the pace at the front of the field. And I don't know if Cutler is actually driving with his pedals as of yet, or is he still on controller? Let's see. Let's take a look at the steering inputs. I mean, things seem to be a little bit smoother. So I'm not entirely sure if this is pedal cutthroat at the moment or controller cutthroat. So interesting one there. But yeah, a couple of drivers yet to set a time. So we've got Ulrich, who's just coming out the pits right now and almost cutting a bit of that white line, which he doesn't want to do. But Ulrich has shown he has some incredibly strong pace in this early part of the season, and hopefully he's able to build on that as well with a solid qualifying result here. But Lopetikichi is the next driver on track, or let's stay on board with him, as he is currently the driver with the most amount of pace. The 5/10 gap coming up to the end of sector 1 at the moment. Let's see if he's up or down on his time. He's about half a tenth down at the moment, or up, sorry, half a tenth up on his current time, so slight improvement. Looking to hold it through this twisty section. Does put it down into medium hot lap modes. Keeps it in track limits. That is a tricky little corner at the end there, and he's about 2.5 tenths, 2.7 tenths up on his current time, so absolutely flying, and looks to be setting a huge gap between himself and Tonga in P2 at the moment. Curious to see if anyone can match his time really. I know Lopetikichi obviously hasn't been driving this season. He is reserving, of course, but at the moment looks to be in a class of his own. Coming up the line, let's see what Lopetegui is able to do. He's about 2.7 tenths, 3.9 tenths, nearly 4 tenths improvement. So sending out a big message to all the drivers out on track at the moment. Like, you have got to put in something special to take me off of pole tonight. We know there's a couple drivers who are able to, and perhaps the steps on his first soft tire run does improve slightly into P5. Yuri coming across the line as well. Let's see what he's able to. We know Yuri does not. Oh, he does improve. He does improve by about 2.7 tenths, nearly 3 tenths, but does not go up any positions. So Yuri seems to be struggling at the moment. At the moment with this track, we do know that it is a long track, so plenty of opportunities for you to gain some time, lose some time. Lots of opportunities for improvements. Richie next across the line, I believe, for his first lap, and I believe he could be coming in, I'm not sure. Ooh, and validates unfortunately there. So he's going to need to get around really quickly if he's going to. That would have been 31.7, so that would have been good enough for about P6, P7. But unfortunately, he has to go again, and that is going to be putting some pressure on him in order to get around. He knows he's going to have one shot at getting a time on the board to hopefully not invalidate again. But every driver should be coming into the pits or thereabouts. Waiting very shortly in order to get their final qualifying runs in. Briadas in as well. Cutler is just driving around with the same soft tires, doing some practice on, I believe, I don't know if it looks like it's on controller or not, but I think he maybe thinks that the race has already started. Wazak is on a one lap, it seems. It's tight for him to get round again in the pits, but I think it should be possible. Just a decent rotation into the hairpin. Nope, he's coming to the pits, so wanted to abandon that lap and go for a final run in order to get himself up into a better position. So Sparrow out early days in order to try and avoid the traffic and set his time. Oh no, that looks like he's coming into the pits, I believe, anyways. Because he has been on the same set of tires for 2 laps, it says, or that's what the data is showing anyways. I wonder if he's coming in nice and early, or going out nice and early, should I say. Nice little drift around the final corner there from Sparrow. Trying to burn as much fuel as possible, revving up the engine to max revs. No, never mind, he's coming into the pits, so he should have enough time, I believe, to get in and out, just about anyways. Really want to get out around that 2:20 mark at an absolute latest, I want to say. And it looks like we're going to have absolutely everyone coming out the pits around the same time. Tutschke is retired from the session, so I'm not sure if he felt like he had enough pace, but I'm not sure what's going on there from Tutschke. Tutschke seems to have been a bit unfortunate with his incidents so far this season. And I think Jazz is going to pick up a lot of traffic. And hopefully they're able to stay out of his way. But coming through Sector 1 should be running into a little bit of traffic here, unfortunately. Oh, a little bit of a lag spike. Car is popping up all over the place. So no traffic in Sector 1 for Jazz. Cars behind him, I mean in front of him, are hopefully going to be able to notice that he is on a hot lap, because of course there's plenty of drivers behind him who are on their out laps. So let's test the awareness of the Division 1 drivers. I mean, they are pretty hightailing it pretty well, so I mean, if Jazz is able to pick this up at the right time, he could get a nice slipstream from a couple of the cars ahead, so we shall see. But 134.0 at the moment setting for Jazz. Definitely going to want to improve on that if he is to climb up the order. And I believe he is. Looks a bit too far back for any kind of a slipstream. However, the cars in front of him are weaving. We can see that. They're using plenty of overtake. DRS open, coming up all the way to the end of this back straight. Into the chicane. Hopefully not distracted there. Takes a very nice entry, and the exit is not too bad either. All the way up to the line. Let's see what it's going to be for Jazz. Hopefully keeps it in tracks leg limits. Yes, he does. And it is an improvement by 5 tenths, but unfortunately that is still P18 for Jazz. So we've got Kaka now on board with Kaka, who has, seems like that is, I wanted to say Mihu behind him. Yep, Mihu, that is his teammate, so he's going to be picking up a slipstream from Kaka, unless Kaka is able to kind of run away. They are running quite closely together, so I'm not sure if you're going to be feeling the effects of the dirty air, or any kind of dirty air that is in this game. But he definitely will be picking up a slipstream, which could benefit Mihu, as Lopetikishi, or Duke, actually I saw that was, no, Oliver Ritchie, apologies, was able to get himself into P3. Duke, Sekar as well, still in with a shout for this pole position, but he is, the steps was coming across P3, so the V-Carb looking very solid indeed, and unfortunately Duke is up on his current time by about a tenth at the moment, so needs to put in a huge amount of work into Sector 3. But Kaka now, I believe Mihu was within distance to be able to catch a benefit off that slipstream, but let's see what Kaka's going to be able to do. Our championship leader at the moment goes up into P4, and Mihu does move up a couple places. I believe he was P14, I want to say. I'm not too sure. But let's see what Tonga is able to do. Oh no, we're not on board with Duke now coming across the line. Does not improve, unfortunately. Oliver Ritchie down to P6. Tongina now. We know Tonga's got some absolute pace in qualifying. Let's see what he's able to do. Does have does save a little bit of the hot lap mode for this last couple of corners. What's he going to do? Deploy and use. Does go up into P7. And coming across the line. Lopetikishi did not improve. Let's see. No, unfortunately, no improvement there for him. So that is going to be it for qualifying, guys. You've got Lopetikishi. Congratulations to you, my friends, on your return to League Racing. Even though as a reserve, with a 6/10 gap to P2, but the Racing Bulls, or V-Carb, looking in a strong position at the moment for eventually picking up some solid points. I mean, are they leading the championship? That is one thing I need to check. Right, at the moment they are leading the championship with a 15-point gap to the Ferraris at the moment. So with one of the Ferraris down in P14, And P9, Yuri, although we know Yuri has some insane race pace, needs to kind of have a good recovery, and hopefully the Racing Bulls are able to work together in order to potentially go up the order as well. Not the greatest lap, but it's okay. Brother, there you have a nearly 5.5 tenth gap to P2. But you know what? It'll do. It'll do. You're on pole. So congratulations once again to Lopetegui, Tuke, and the steps for Visa, Cash App, RB. Congratulations to you guys as well, and Kaka, our championship leader as well, or joint championship leader, should I say? I believe it's joint. I already said that. Yes, it is joint. So the Steps and Kaka are our joint championship leaders. Looking forward to an interesting race up ahead. I mean, Lopetegui, I predict will absolutely fly out of the DRS by lap 1. So best of luck to, or by the end of lap 2, should I say. So best of luck to everyone. Good luck to all of our drivers tonight, and hopefully we get an entertaining race. Drama free. I mean, I wouldn't mind a safety car at some point, but not too many, hopefully. Right, in terms of strategy, I'd imagine it's going to be a medium hard, hard medium, one or the other. There's not really much other options you can do. I mean, the soft tires absolutely die around here, as I've already mentioned. So, gonna be interesting to see which way rounds really the drivers opt to do this strategy. I'd imagine the hard medium is probably the best way. Lighter fuel, you want to be on the faster tire, the softer compound. Um, is the way to go. But as we've got the drivers, we've got our drivers figuring out their strategies. Any last little tweaks to the front wing, I believe, is the only thing you can really change now in the setup screen. But I'm looking forward to what should be an entertaining races. Here we go. We have got everyone ready to go for the starts. Oh, and Lopetegui has DNF'd or done something. So he's going to have cold tires. But let's see what kind of tires. Yep, hards and mediums all around the fields. No one opting for softs. So Lopetegui is apparently stuck at the back of the grid. He cannot move. He cannot move, so not sure how that's going to work out for his tires. But we've got the Steps absolutely hightailing it, not wanting to waste any time. As we see possible race strategies, saying someone an option is to go for the soft tires. Not sure how that's going to work though, because you are losing a bunch of time, bunch of race time on the pit lane. It is a long pit lane here, so not something you want to do. And you see the Steps putting a lot of energy into the tires at the moment, trying to get them up to temperature. He's already down to about 70% ERS, so gonna want to potentially stick it into none to recharge for the race start. But yeah, hopefully this all this weaving doesn't degrade his tires. I do know that you can degrade your tires depending on how much you weave under the safety car, not safety car, under the formation lap. So all these little things do matter for the beginning of the race. And we are sitting on the grid because a lot of drivers are yet to close up. And I want to be on board with Paddy as he does have Kaka in front of him. Or actually, I'll stay on board with Duke. Duke is on the inside, which is definitely not the place where you want to be for the start of this race. Right, let's go on to position changes. That camera is horrible. Here we go. As we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we are off for Divine iRacing Division 1. Oh my goodness, look at that start from Kaka. That was an absolute rocket ship send from Kaka. And is he going to be going up to P1? And Tonga, unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened with Tonga, but it looks like he didn't get off the line there. Or wasn't ready perhaps. So down all the way to P19 for Tonga after putting in some incredibly hard work during qualifying. Unfortunately, he is down into P19. But we've got plenty of gainers at the moment. We've got Tyrrell, Naismith and Cutler up 7 positions. Tutchke up 4 as well from a poor qualifying for Tutchke. Duke at the moment is slow to get off the line, I believe there. Down 3 positions at the moment. But I want to have a look back at the tires and see who was able to gain. So just the Steps at the moment, who is in P1. Oh, a little bit of an interesting move there. Duke doesn't seem to be super confident early on, and Oluwa Richie trying to make a move down the inside. We're on board now at the front, back on board with our 2 championship leaders. So they were able to go into get into the lead. 2 championship leaders as we see Lopo Tsukishi unfortunately straight lining into the Steps, and hopefully no damage was done. He is trying to get past as quick as possible. He is putting that hot lap mode on, putting that ERS on. Of course they have broken the DRS to Alagriadis behind. He's going to really want to try and do everything he can to close back up, although there are plenty of opportunities to gain and lose time. He is on the softer compound tire as well, as we see Mihu and Shermanator battling it out, and I think Shermanator was just able to hold on to that position. Mihu looks to have a bunch more straight line speed over Shermanator. Brakes late, and is he going to get the switchback done? Mihu, he's just losing time, guys. You're just losing time to the cars ahead. Don't fight around through here. I mean, although we love some great racing, you want to obviously keep it close together so you can fight later on. A little bit of a twitch there from Shermanator, and Mihu behind is not going to push him early on. Back to the front now. We've got Lopo Tsukishi, Paddy, who looks to be quite comfortable in P4 at the moment, but we know down this long back straight, we should see or could see plenty of different moves. Oh, bit of a lock up there from Kaka, and local Tikishi's having a little look down the inside there. Thinks better of it, wants to fight another day, and Zero Naismith, although Cutthroat was seen to be going a little bit off the track there, has gained another position. Paddy looking to, always a difficult one through this section here. You want to get as much off the throttle as possible, but also to get the rotation, you need to have a little bit on throttle as well. But that can also be done with your settings, as we see Cutthroat and DR Naismith fighting a little bit, and back of the grid, I think we saw some fighting as well, which I'm not entirely sure, but these two still fighting it out. Other than go through this section here, DR Naismith keeping respectful, giving some plenty of room to Cutthroat around them. Yuri just doesn't seem to have the pace on. He's dropped off to Olorichi in front of him, despite being on these softer compound tires. So I'm not sure how this race is going to play out. Of course, we've still got plenty of laps still to come here tonight. Kaka seems to be much closer than he was previously, and that is a Ferrari at the back of the grid. Divine Eye, unfortunately, seems to have had a little bit of a moment. Kaka using quite a bit of DRS there to try and get back into the lead of the race. Bit of a big lockup as Tikashi was able to sneak down the inside, perhaps, of the steps in front of him. The slots right back in behind, but not too much fighting early days. Tonga down towards the back has fought his way past Touchkey, so a bit of a better recovery after slipping down all the way to P19. Tonga. Let's see if I can get back on board with this fight. But we seem to be in a DRS train from all the way from P1 all the way to P8 with Olorichi, and then a little bit of a break in the train. So at the moment, Yuri, Cutthroat, going to really want to try and work together, as local Tikashi seems to have had a moment, and we want to try and get back up to the back of that train as quickly as possible. Maybe work together with Yuri if possible. But the DRS, of course, we know is extremely powerful in this game. And once you break that DRS, once you're out of that DRS, it is extremely tough to get back in if the drivers in front of you are working together, passing each other. You see it a lot in F1 esports and in the high levels of league racing. And we see another lead change. Now we see Steps, who is charging his battery, and that is a full course safety car. So unfortunately, it seems like Divine Eye, right at the back of the grid, has had a little bit of a moment, and it's crashed into the wall on the left-hand side, I believe it is, just before the end of Sector 2, and now this creates a little bit of an interesting scenario there for the drivers at the front. No one seemed to be wanting to pit, as we do see Rios, the first driver, into the pits. We see Yuri as well. Oh, and Yuri gets a 3-second time penalty corner cutting. We do know that you do automatically pick up a time penalty on the entry of that corner. It is a bit of a difficult one, unfortunately, but we do see 6-7 drivers into the pits onto the hard tires, I presume, wanting to really think about going to the end of the race, although it will be incredibly difficult. It will be difficult to go to the end of the race from here. Medium tires, lots of medium tires getting stuck on, so freshness of the compounds. Of course, these cars, the drivers in front, particularly of Touchkey, will have, or of Rios actually, we want to say, does have the older hard compounds tires, although probably will that make a huge difference? I'm not entirely sure. We do know that, of course, as I mentioned previously, there is incredibly high tire wear around this track. However, these drivers who have now benefited from the safety car, the steps. It seems to have disconnected, unfortunately. Am I able to invite him back? Offline EA friends. I don't believe we are EA friends. So that is a shame. Just in though, so the steps has disconnected. That is unfortunate. Hopefully he's able to receive an invite from someone else and get back in. But I unfortunately am not able to invite him. Okay, so the steps is back in apparently. I think, or he potentially is. I'm not too sure. Doesn't look like it. His car still is ghosted. Not entirely sure what's happening. But regardless, I presume we should have the safety car in at the end of this lap. The field has closed up. They have bunched up again, but Paddy is not enjoying being past, or I was going to say he's gone past the ghosted car there, and the game has not told him to give the position back. So we do know that is a little bit of a glitch. Safety car in this lap as the safety car is in this lap as we've seen that Yuri is gone for a quick wee. So on board with Yuri, who seems to be back in his car now. Yeah, he is back in his car. I believe Paddy should give that position back, in all honesty, to the steps. Of course, he was ghosted, and it was very cheeky from Paddy. But let's go on board with Paddy now, and this Kaka has absolutely sent it. Good restart from him, up to a gap up to 5/10, and Alavriada seems to have been absolutely asleep on that safety car restart there. A gap up to 1.5, so he's got a lot of work to do in order to close back up. And we see Cutthroat going for a move on cars around him. Marios, that was, I believe, went a little bit wide into turn one. And Alavriadis is really going to have to work together with Duke here now to try and close back up to the back of the pack. See how much energy load you're putting through the tires through all these corners. Lots of high speed corners around the Shanghai International track. DRS of course won't be activated until the end of this lap, and unfortunately Touchkey there seems to have had a little bit of an issue. As we see Tonga and Cutthroat fighting now. Cutthroat able to get past and switching the car ahead, but Tonga is trying to fight back. And opts to fight another day. Slips in behind. Shermader in P10 at the moment. Solid race for him at the moment. Oh, I want to see that move around the outside from Yuri. And Shermader looks like he could be getting past, although still stuck. I mean, there's 3 drivers, 3 wide potentially. Cutler seemed to have had a little bit of a incident or a little speeding in the pit lane for Tutschke, and we know what's coming next. Unfortunate, my friends. But at the front, we've seen Kaka now able to gap Paddy by about 1.3 seconds at the moment. So if Kaka can really kind of use this gap at the moment and hightail it down the roads, he looks to be in a great position to potentially win this race. And we're going to see the Steps and Paddy really working together here if they can. Duke, who needs to get past Alivriadis as well. And Oloa Ritchie, despite being in a good position at the moment, P6, pick up some solid points. He does have, I believe anyways, are some slower cars around him. And we'd see the Steps working his way past Paddy with the use of DRS, ERS potentially being used as well, and Duke going a little bit deep on Alivriadis, pushes him off the track a little bit as well, and that allows Oloa Ritchie to potentially get past. Yes, it does. Oloa Ritchie is without the ERS now, and he's got a pack of funky cars behind him. Loco Tikichi around the outside potentially. This is fantastic racing. Yuri pushing him a little bit wide, and that was fantastic racing between the 3 of them. Loco Tikichi is still getting pushed by his teammate through the corners, but very low ERS levels, and Oloa Ritchie is going to have the protection, or thankfully he's got to have Duke in front of him in order to pull him along with the use of DRS, but he's got a few cars right behind him now who are going to be incredibly keen to get past as soon as possible. Yuri seems to be picking up the pace and trying to put off the line of Oloa Ritchie a little bit more, and Alivriadis seems to have had a little bit of an incident, potentially some contact with someone, and I think there's going to be a little bit more contact. Unfortunately, that was just his own fault there for Alivriadis. Tonga does not, I think that was Tonga anyways, who had a little bit of contact with. But Paddy and the Steps potentially working together, and let's try and close back up to Kaka at the moment. And we're going to see Oloa Ritchie and Yuri getting past Oloa Ritchie. Little bits of contact, unfortunately. That would seem to be quite yeah, not the nicest from Oloa Ritchie, or sorry, from Yuri there, but he is up into P4 and his race pace is coming alive now. We see Paddy and the Steps running nearly side by side through the first couple of corners. Paddy thinking about going around the outside. Guys, don't fight now, you gotta try and close back up to Kaka in front of you. But let's see if we can go back on board with someone further down the pack. We've got Shermader closing up to the back of Cutthroat, and I believe there's a closer battle of Tonga. So Tonga had a little bit of an issue somewhere. He was up into about P12, I believe it was. EA is such a joke. What happened, Tutschke? What happened? What happened? Talk to me, my friend. As we go on board with Loco Tikichi at the moment. But the freshest tires in the top 10 at the moment, as it stands, is Yuri. Nearly loses the car there, but Oloa Ritchie's going to have a fantastic opportunity to get past Yuri. Yuri on much higher levels of ERS at the moment. Oloa Ritchie's really going to try and want to save as much ERS as he can for the rest of the race, really. I mean, he's down at about 10%, but you couldn't use your battery and it was stuck in none for the entire race. That is definitely not ideal, and I'm sorry that was an issue, man. Yeah, EA really needs to sort the game out. So many things that need to be better, honestly. Honestly, for a game to be costing whatever 60 pounds, however many euros, 80 euros plus, you get the Ultimate Edition, it's like 100 euros. It's got to be better. It absolutely has to be better. But see a nice gap still from Kaka. I mean, as this race goes on, he's going to have the benefit of, you know, the hard tires coming into their own now. I think those medium tires are really going to be crying out and screaming. So the Steps is really going to want to have to pit in the next couple of laps, I would say, to try and get that undercut to Kaka in front of him. And he will have, I'd say, about a 4 or 5 lap undercut to Kaka, who of course will be on the softer rubber. But nonetheless, I don't know what I was going to say. Apologies, bit of a brain fart. Ola Richie, stick it in medium, my friend. Stick it in medium. Forget about a hot lap. You're not trying to go for a move. Just stick behind. Work with Lopetegi. Work with Yuri around you. Lopetegi hasn't pitted. Yuri has pitted. So work with him. As we see the Steps now coming into the pits, and fantastic call from him. Could be listening to the broadcast, but if he is, good decision to come into the pits. Definitely get that undercut working and see what happens towards the end of the race. Good pit stop from the crew there, and 3-second time penalty for Waza. Bit of a lock up there from Yuri. Yuri's setup seems to be very much suited towards the long pit straight, and I believe that was Mini Turns who had a little bit of an issue. Doesn't quite perhaps have the downforce that he needs coming out of that the first couple of corners. The traction perhaps, which is perhaps why we saw him have a little bit of a moment, and unfortunately now down to P17. Gaps are starting to kind of stabilize a little bit. I mean, Ola Richie, yep, keep it in medium. Don't worry about passing Yuri. Even if you keep it in medium, you're still going to have a good chance towards the end of the straight. But you're going to really want to work together. Lopetegi as well, going to be working with you as well. Duke, Cutthroat as well behind. Plenty of drivers you can work with. Paddy, Kaka, in a kind of world of their own moments, got a solid position. As we see, that was, yes, Waza making a move on, or sorry, Sparrow making a move on Waza into the hairpin, and Waza, I think, is going to have the benefit of DRS now to try and potentially come back to him. And Mini Turns now picks up another time penalty, but Shermanator and unfortunately DRL Naismith coming together. Rejoin safely, my friend, rejoin safely. It was just about within the limits. But unfortunate moment there between Naismith and Shermanator. No, I'm losing my mind tonight. I'm not locked in. Sorry, let me lock in for the remainder of this race, guys. But Yuri, Olawalirichi, and Lopo all have similar levels of ERS. We see Lopo is able to utilize that non-ERS mode through the slow sections. Recharge the battery as much as you can, which is always the benefit. You want to have as much battery, which is why I was saying to Olawarichi, charge the battery, my friend. Charge the battery. Don't worry about going for a move, and a surprise move here from Lopetegi. Oh, perhaps a little bit too much there. I mean, that was a little bit of contact, but I'm sure Olawarichi's not going to mind too much. He's in a good position. However, yep, sticking it down into none. keep working together. This is a good position to be in, although Paddy at the moment and Kaka are really running away with it. As the steps now, his undercut, he's making his undercut work, and where is he? There he is, down in P15. Going to be closing up to the back of Jazz at the moment, so let's have a look at the leader. So the steps is about 22.8 seconds away from Kaka, and that undercut seems to be working an absolute charm. I'm not too sure what the pit lane time loss is on this track, but he's going to really want to try and avoid any time loss behind Jazz here, who is on some older medium tires. Definitely a lovely move around the outside there from the steps, and hopefully he's able to keep it without a DRS range. And mini turns retires in the pits. I thought that was on track. That is in the pits, thankfully, very much. So Jazz is going to have the benefit of the DRS now, and Jazz is really not going to want to try and go for any moves on the steps. He's going to really want to try and work with him, try and stay within that 1 second if possible. But we see Waza going for a move on. Ooh, that was a lovely switchback, I believe it was, from Shermanator. Was he able to make it stick? Oh, he's coming to the pits. I believe he would have got a warning there, but still, regardless. A little bit of an undercut potential going on here for Shermanator as we see our next driver into the pits. On board now with Yuri, who's doing a great job of closing back up to the back of Paddy. Yuri, of course, with that 3-second time penalty, which he got very early on in the race, but he's got 4 lap pressure tires, then Paddy, and the drivers around him really. And the next closest is Cutthroat with about a second or so behind him, 1.5 seconds. So at the moment they took advantage of the wiggle on the exits, and Yuri's not going to have the benefit of DRS, but he will be getting slipstream all the way down this back straight. As long as you're within that 1 second of the car in front of you, you will benefit from the slipstream. But potentially, I want to say, a bit of a stall moment there from Cutthroat. Forgot to throttle on, as we see a couple of drivers coming in the pits, Paddy and Lopo Tsukishi, and 10-second time penalty for Lopo, unfortunately. And we see Naismith as well coming in, and he is able to keep it within the the speed that you're required to go into the pit lane. That's maybe perhaps a little bit of rustiness showing from Lopo Tsukishi. But a number of drivers, Tonga also, Sparrow into the pits, unfortunately double stacking with his teammates, so they were a little bit too close together there, and Sparrow having to get his wing change for also adding insult to injury for him. But at the moment, looks like Olorichi is falling off on the back of Yuri now at the moment. But there's plenty of gaps all around, and Paddy's really want to try and clear Jazz as quickly as possible. Hopefully his teammate doesn't fight him. Lets him go at an awkward time, but Paddy's got a lot of work to do to try and get this undercut working on the car ahead of Kaka, but Kaka's really want to try and come into the pits on this lap as a response to the cars around him that made that pit stop. And let's see what he opts to do. Is he going to be coming into the pits? Looks like it. Yes, it is. Don't cut that inside. I think that was just about within track limits there. And we've got Olorichi into the pits as well. A little bit of a sub-optimal entry. Oh, sorry, that was Yuri coming into the pits. Duke as well. So 4 drivers from our top runners coming into the pits. And where does Kaka end up coming out? Kaka, will he still regain the lead? It looks like it. So Paddy not able to pull off the undercut, unfortunately. About a 3-second gap, so I'm not quite sure what it was at, but I think that is pretty much stable. No undercut advantage, unfortunately, from Paddy, for Paddy. But a 10-second penalty at the moment for Lopetici is not ideal. He's definitely going to be one trying to hightail it up the road. And use his pace that he showed in qualifying, really. At the moment, Cutthroat is our race leader. Of course, these two were the ones who took the advantage and pitted under safety car to get to that hard tires, sliding all over the place. So perhaps those hard tires are not going to make it towards the end. Pretty sure Yuri realized that pretty quickly, which is why he made the switch onto these medium tires. Our race leader coming up to the back of the steps. So although the steps did have the opportunity to undercut, he's going to have 5 laps older tires. And the harder tires as well, the harder compounded tires as well. So Kaka already doing a great job of staying in the DRS. Going to want to maybe use the steps to kind of pull him along if he can, without getting too much to the threat of Paddy behind. But he's going to really want to try and save some ERS behind the steps, and then use that to try and gap him later on in the race. Lopetici closing up very quickly to the back of Paddy. So the pace that Lopetici was showing early in qualifying seems to be coming back to him in the race. Paddy really wanted to try and keep Lopo out of the DRS range, but looks like Lopo's going to be just within that 1 second, yeah, or plenty of margin actually. 8/10 was able to stay in the DRS. So is he going to go for the move straight away? He is on the battery. He's into hot lap mode. Paddy not utilizing any of it at the moment, but Kaka was able to get through past the steps. So let's see if he's able to utilize that fresh rubber that he's got to his advantage at the moment and get up to the back of Rios and Cutthroat as soon as possible. Smith on making a move past Shermader. And looks like he could get the move done because Naismith is out of DRS. Is he going to go around the outside? Lovely move. And Sparrow unfortunately has DNF, and that's a safety car. That is a safety car. So on the exit of the hairpin, unfortunately Sparrow's race has come to an end. So is anyone going to benefit from? We do have Alavriadis, the only driver able to come in at this moment for fresher tires. But everyone pretty much was past the pits. And let's see if what's Mihu going to do. Mihu is staying out. But yeah, if you're Cutthroat and these drivers ahead, you absolutely pit. If you're Kaka, you stay out. Steps is a bit of a difficult one because you have, if you're the steps, you probably stay out. Of course, all these drivers around here did. What happened there? Shermader slowing down a little bit. What this does allow is the field to close back up, of course, under the safety car. And have some a little bit more closer racing. Did see some pretty intense gaps at some points, but let's see. Oh, Kaka is coming in. The steps is coming in as well. Paddy is coming in. So that is your top 5. Lopetici is staying out, and Yuri is staying out as well. That makes sense. Olarichi is going to be staying out as well. Very well done for him. That makes sense. And Haas potentially. severe collision with... How did that happen? How did that happen? Oh dear. That looks to be on the pit entry. I'm not too sure how that happened. But Zero Naismith seems to be into the wall there pretty much. Not sure if it was lag or whatever. I'm not trying to cause any, and he's DNF'd in the pits unfortunately. So he's lost his front wing. Yeah, that'll do it. I mean, you are under safety car, so I'm not too sure. He definitely had every right to get, you know, closed back up. But now, tire-wise, we've got Cutthroat on the freshest tires, the first runner to be, you know, he's in P5 at the moment with 0 laps on his fresh mediums. Rios is on his fresh hards, so yeah, decent position. The Steps on some softs, so his softs are going to be absolutely screaming towards the end of this race. And Tonga, of course, on some softs as well. But Olorichi has binned it. Olorichi has binned it coming off the final corner, or not the final corner, before the that is unfortunate for him. Oh, everyone has to kind of hold up for him. Oh dear, what is going on? What is going on? So, 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Oh dear, what is going on here? That is going to be an absolute nightmare for the stewards. Steps on some soft tires, coming in to change off those. Serve his time penalty as well. Olorichi's going to want to come in as well. The step, oh, Terminator. Definitely should have wanted to come in and serve his penalty. If you have a penalty, guys, you can serve them in the pits. Get rid of your time penalty and fight another day, because if you stay out, you're not clearing 10 seconds. The cars around you. Get rid of your time penalty. Tikashi opting not to get rid of his time penalty, and Sherman as well. So just these two cars, or I think it was Olorichi, the Steps. Yep, who were the main culprits. But what happened on that back straight there? That was interesting. I believe a couple of drivers. Oh, and Olorichi, after serving his penalty, gets another penalty for crossing the pit exit. On the exit of the safety car line. So yeah, that is not ideal. That is not ideal at all. I did see them doing it during qualifying, and I was wondering, like, you are going to get penalized for that. So his race has gone from bad to worse there for Olorichi. And imagine we see the safety car in at the end of the next lap, and the Steps has gone onto some fresh medium tires. I mean, not that it's... I mean, it definitely will make a huge difference, because obviously we've seen some high tire degradation, and I wish we had the numbers for the cars and what kind of tire wear they were suffering. Oh, the safety car is in this lap. Okay, safety car is in this lap. So penalties wise, Loco with 10 seconds, Yuri with 3 seconds, Waza with 3, Sherman with 10, and Olorichi with 10. But at the moment, Duke looks like he could be in a great position to win this race. I mean, hopefully he's able to have a better restart than he had last time. Don't want to be falling asleep. I mean, he's left a huge gap. 1 second gap, and Olorichi as... I don't know what's going on there. I really don't know what's going on there. But anyways, we are back racing once again, and Yuri trying to push Lopa Tikashi early on in this safety car restart. I want to see gaps. There we go. Alabriadis and the Steps having a little fight. going around the outside, potentially a little bit of an oversteering moment, and oh, look at this gaggle of cars at the moment around him. Really want to be careful. Up to go on the inside, a little bit of contact with the cars around. Tonga on those soft tires wants to make a comeback as well. And the soft tires are really just not working for him at the moment. And we see the hard tires from Rios not up to temperature as of yet. On a safety car. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Ola Ritchie, but it sounds like he's not too happy about it. As you see Paddy thinking about a move on Rios, he definitely wants to try and get past as quickly as possible. Holds it down the inside. Seems to be, yep, does have a better traction on the exit. We do have DRS enabled as Yuri going to be wanting to try to get past local Tikashi as quickly as possible, build the gap. Oh, as Lopo Tikashi overtook off track there. 3-second penalty to add to his already 10 seconds that he has. So not ideal at all. These guys are battling really, really hard. And a little bit of contact there from Yuri into the side pod of Lopo. These guys are not helping each other out, trying to fight with each other. Of course, you want to be trying to work together when you both got time penalties, guys. And we see Tonga making a move past Shermanator now, but Shermanator looks like he has wing damage just about running into the back of Tonga, unfortunately. Saw the wing end plate coming off, and that is an unfortunate situation. He's going to be losing a lot of downforce, and to that overall lap time. As we see Paddy thinking about a move on Duke. Both have the benefit of DRS. Very late there, and is he thinking about the switch back? He's not quite sure what's happening. A little bit of lag it seems to be. But Kaka now considering a move potentially. Nope. And we see Jazz and Mihu at the back of the pack seem to have had a little bit of an incident, unfortunately. But at the moment, Paddy is in prime position to win this race as long as he can stay. I'd say within 10 seconds really of the cars ahead. Okay, Yuri has 3 seconds. Lopo Tikashi has 13 seconds. So within 3 seconds, what the heck is going on? Yeah, not quite sure. Apologies for the lag if there is any lag. But let's go back to the tires and Duke carrying a lot of speed. Yeah, I'm not sure what is going on in this lap. And is Paddy going to think about a move on Lopo? Nope. Lopo is on those 4-lap older tires, so he's going to have a lot of defending to do from Paddy on those 4-lap younger tires right behind him. And of course, Paddy does not need this on track. Paddy does not need this on track. He needs to stay behind if he can. Think about fighting this another day, but he does go for the move. He does go for the move on Lopo Tikashi and is able to get that move done very nicely. Without any ERS at the moment, so both on very similar levels of ERS. Kaka could be thinking about a move. He sees the cars ahead flashing. He's also low on ERS himself, so these top 5 at the moment are really, really low on ERS. Cutthroat could have something to say about this, to be honest with you. Tonga making a move past Wazza. I believe he pushed him quite wide there, but I'm not quite sure. But anyways, back on board with Kaka. Late braking there. He's going to really want to try and recharge as much ERS as possible coming up to the last 3 laps after this one. Last 3 laps of the race, just want to have as much ERS as possible. But as it stands, we have Paddy winning this race. not on track due to time penalties. There's still plenty of laps, still plenty of drama still to come. I am absolutely sure about it. Now you're taking a wide line, definitely not wanting to run onto that exit curve there, as we know there is a glitch. Tucking into the slipstream, Kaka, the cars around him as well. See the cars in front of him, Kaka biding his time at the moment, sees the cars ahead. Oh, and you see Yuri and Paddy ghosting at the moment. And what is going on here? Paddy really pushing Yuri to the corners. Yuri's doing everything he can to try and stay ahead. Contact on the outside. No, Yuri. Yep, there is contact. There we go. We're doing tough time. Lopetegui kind of setting up the switch pack. Doesn't quite get the traction that he needs, unfortunately, on being on those older tires. Big send, and oh, unfortunately, just outbrakes himself. Yuri does, and now Paddy's gone from. He lost 2 positions in the space of a corner there, unfortunately. But he is fighting back against Kaka now. Kaka's going to really want to do everything he can to save up as much battery. He knows these cars ahead are on much lower battery amounts, and Cutthroat's actually joined the battle now as well. Duke's gone down a couple of places, and all this battling is potentially going to allow the Steps to have a better points haul as well. If he's able to close back up, these guys are really putting in a lot of work fighting around him. So let's see what we can do now. We're gonna probably see Lopetegui go past here. No, we see Paddy on the battery though. Paddy is absolutely on the battery into the corner. Very respectful racing there from Paddy. Goes around the outside. Is he going to make this happen? No. Lopetegui seems to have had some damage. Not quite sure what happened there. But unfortunately, Lopetegui looks like he's going to be retiring in the pits. He has damage, wing damage, and that is the end of his race, I would presume. Back on board now, Kaka. Looking to make a move down the inside. Does he go off track there? Kaka and Paddy have the same amount of degradation on the tires. I imagine there were 7 laps full tires, and Yuri in front, of course, with 3 seconds. Just doing everything he can to try and defend, and you see a move from Duke behind, which has also allowed the Steps to get back into this battle. All this fighting, Duke, the Steps was down in P13, I want to say, P14, after the safety car restart, and is now able to kind of close back up to the back of this pack. And these last couple of laps are going to be all about how much ERS levels you have left on with you. Kaka able to recharge to about 100%, so we could see Kaka winning this race if he's able to keep it nice and conservative, really. He's not wanting to overtake on this lap. He wants to overtake on the next lap. Paddy is sticking behind for now, although he is closing up. And Yuri's done a great job, as well as... Who is that? Who is that? Was that Cutthroat? Cutthroat tried to do an absolute send, and it's absolutely ruined his friend's race. Goodness gracious, that was scary. And Kaka, we see him being wiser, staying behind for now, and are we going to see a send down the inside from Yuri? Kaka doing everything he can to try and... Are we going to see some DRS games? I'd imagine we can see some DRS games being played at one point or another. Lavriadis trying to make a move on Tongina now. Tonga still on those soft tires, but definitely get some decent traction coming out that corner. I imagine we're going to be seeing some DRS games being played by Paddy here. Be the wiser of it. One of you two be the wiser, but everything to fight for on track. And of course, with it being a huge DRS straight. Oh, Paddy has Nothing to say for it. Yep. Kaka, full battery. Paddy has about 50%. This should be a very easy move done for Paddy. He's already alongside him. Can you turn your ERS off now? Paddy trying to tuck into the slipstream. Yuri doing everything he can to fight off Duke as well. The two RBs. Steps. Fighting with his teammate. And just helps to stick behind, really. Yuri drops down to P5. Shermanator coming across the line now. But 10-second time penalty for unserved penalty. He's going to be dropping down pretty much towards the back of the grid. Tongo secures a P7. Murillo's with a P6. Fantastic result for him. But congratulations to our championship leader. And it's only going to be extending his championship lead now after the race here tonight in Shanghai. Paddy with a solid P2, so congratulations to Paddy as well for securing that podium position. Definitely needed that momentum, and hopefully he's able to kind of build on his results from here. The driver of the day goes to Waza in game. What the hell was that? I'm not sure what happened with Waza. I'm not too sure what happened there. But there you have it. Those are your results for Divine Eye Racing Division 1 Round 3 here in Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. Kaka takes the win, up from 4th on the grid. Paddy secures P2. Duke, solid race from him as well, even though he started on P2, able to secure a podium position. The steps, good recovery on the safety car restart, able to get himself up to P4. Yuri, of course, with that time penalty, that 3 seconds that he had, unfortunately drops down after having some very good, a good recovery, I'd say. And Marios up to P6 from P10 on the grids. Very solid race from him as well. Tonga doesn't change position. Alivriadis does not change position either. Shermanator able to gain up a couple places. Waza as well, solid from him as well, up into P10. Mihu in P11, Jazz P12, Cutthroat P13. He had a big crash at the end there. Lopo unfortunately DNF'd, and these are the rest of the DNFs that we see on screen. But that has been your race tonight. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. It was an entertaining one for sure. Plenty of drama happening there. But I look forward to seeing you in the next race, which is, I believe, COTA. COTA is the next race in Austin, Texas, which is also a sprint weekend. So very much looking to seeing you all next week, and I hope you all have a lovely evening, and catch you in the next one.